Hello, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube channel.
Hello, everyone. You already know it's the far side part. This is where we bring you match reactions, previews, debates, analysis from across the biggest football competitions across Europe. And today we are back to the Premier League. We will be analyzing the big game between Arsenal and Everton. Arsenal won that game 2-0. And we already we have discussed the Newcastle Chelsea game. My name is Danny as your host, and I think for the very first time we have the full squad in the house. We have Obinna, we have Ernie, we have Osas, and today we'll be discussing how Arsenal left it late at the Emirates. We'll be discussing what that result means for their Premier League title race with 7 games to go. Destiny is already in their hands. And then we'll also discuss the historic moment from Max Dowman becoming the youngest player to score in the Premier League. Gentlemen, Arsenal left it late. You know, it was a difficult game for Arsenal. And with 7 games to go, the title might just be in their hands. Obinna, I will come to you. What are your thoughts? What stood out for you in this game? Was this a sign of champions grinding out results, or did Arsenal make it harder than it needed to be?
Well, first of all, today was all about Max Dowman. Max Dowman was the star of the show. I think when you watch the game and you see us just trying to put the ball into the net, first half we had most shots, but we had less shots on target. Everton had lots of chances, like quality chances. They hit the bar. Raya had to make, I think Raya had to make one or two saves, or like it was a kind of game where you're dominating your shooting, but you don't actually have like a clear-cut chance. And this has been how most of the recent games have been. Like you were watching Arsenal play, it just feels like we just make every game look very tough. It's a struggle. You're fighting, you're trying to like even just first of all do the basics, try and even create a clear-cut chance. That was a problem. We couldn't even do that. And as the game was wearing on, I was just asking myself, like, where would this goal come from? Even from set pieces. I was, at some point there, I was like, please, like, can we even score from a set piece? But then they showed the stats that Everton have considered the least from set pieces. So if we were hoping for set pieces today, there was nothing. It was not going to happen. And then Arteta started making changes in second half. He was looking and where do I get that spark from? Thankfully, we have Max Dowman. Max Dowman is just 16. I was telling you guys for the podcast, he's not even, I don't think he can't even buy alcohol. He can't even, he's not legal. He's not of legal age to buy alcohol. Like, this guy is still so young, and then he came on, we had to change things up, lots of changes. First of all, Madueke was on the left. He wasn't very effective there, and I don't think that's his best position. So they brought on Dowman, they moved Saka to the middle. So we're now playing Eze and Saka. And just behind them was Rice. On the left was Martinelli. We removed Havertz and brought in Gyökeres. And today, again, our depth played a fantastic role. The cross from Dowman that led to the goal by Gyökeres, and then that winner from Max Dowman. Like when he got that ball and he was running through on goal, man, I was just screaming. I was losing my voice. Big ups to the entire team. They really, really put in a very hard shift. But again, special mention to Max Dowman. Max Dowman, look, if I can buy an Arsenal shirt and put your name at the back, I'm doing it right now. Like, honestly, you are a talent. You are the next Messi, whatever it is, man. So yeah,
we'll come to Max Dowman much later, and I also want you to discuss on, or I want us to spotlight on some players today and Arteta's changes and lineup. I will be coming back to you, Obinna. But
yeah, sure.
Ernie, I mean, we have seen performances like this year in, season out in the Premier League. We've seen it with Man City. We've seen it with Liverpool. Winning games like this, what does it do for the title race?
Like I said earlier, this is games like this tells you these are title winning games. You might not know now, but the same way 2 seasons ago we went back to that Villa game. I mean, Arsenal fans knew after that there was one Villa game that we just knew
2-0
Yeah.
loss.
that 2-0 you just knew was out, right? Games against Everton, these are games that tell you, yes, the mentality. In as much as I'm a Chelsea fan, I also have to understand when if you are good, you are good. You can't debate intelligence, right? Ateta knows what he's doing. He knows how to win. In 10 years' time, nobody will care if they set piece their way. Nobody will care. They are doing it and they are getting results. They are defensively strong. Saliba and Gabriel have told us, yes, they are good parents. Okay, right, they have one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So I think these are games that tell you. I mean, David Moyes, give it up to him. Pickford had an amazing save, but to be honest, these are games that let you know, yes, a manager knows how to win. He knows when to play what players. Even players have the right mentality. I think Sakato is aged. He knows when, okay, I'm not in my best form right now. Is there anything else I can do for this team? That's the mentality of winning. It's not, hey, if I'm on the wing, if it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for me. No, I can't get any results here. It's fine. I'm useless there. Can I come in the middle? That's the mindset that players have, right? Zubimendi Rice switching places. Can I go deep? You go long. Can I stay long? You go deep. Everybody's jump, and I see that in only Arsenal right now. Arsenal, Bayern are the only two teams who are saying, you know what, we'll play whatever it takes to win, and that's just my position on that.
That's the mentality of champions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to come to you. Arsenal has, I think it's they established a 10-point lead against Man City. With Man City, I think they're currently playing right now against West Ham. Do you think that Man City still has an opportunity to challenge for this title, or should we just give Obinna the trophy today?
I never love that, but I think Arsenal.
I know you have a bias against the Manchester team, so let me see how you're going to answer this.
Arsenal, for me, Arsenal are champions in principle, right? It's for them to lose. They've actually two things that have maybe say that is one. Arsenal have actually been able to break that. I think it was a mindset struggle. They've had a couple of years where they are almost touching the crown, and then they always lose out on it. But they've come this season with a very great mentality. They've had one or two setbacks in the last couple of weeks, but they've risen up to the occasion. And for me, I'll crown them champions in principle. It's just a matter of time, and Arsenal will wear the crown. For Manchester City, I think they're going through an identity crisis, and it's favoring Arsenal. I think Pep has lost the plot. I do not see him catching up. I do not see him winning the league, and I think after this season, he's done for it. So kudos to the Arsenal team. They are marching on. And it's been long coming. They've been very consistent in the last couple of years. And as much as I do not like for them to win, I cannot deny the fact that they've actually worked hard for it. And we'll be here at the end to celebrate with Obinna. Yeah. So of course,
again, let's hope. I'm hopeful we win. I don't want to.
It's yours
taking it one
win.
game at a time. People saying mentality of champions. We've not won it
Daniel, before. one caveat though. If Arsenal do not win the Premier League, if they do not win it, personally, I'm going to be in front of Obinna's house, and I'm just going to capture his reaction. Like, Obinna needs to go on vacation for at least 2 weeks.
No, he doesn't need to go. Obinna needs to sweep the streets of Toronto for the emotional heartbreak he has caused his friends and family. But also, I really like how you put the current situation at Man City. I've never heard it so beautifully described. When you say that there's an identity crisis with a Pep Guardiola team, that sums it up for Man City's season. But Obinna, we'll come back to you now on this particular game that we had just watched. I watched the game, and for me, as a neutral, sorry, as a Manchester United fan, but yeah, I was a neutral watching this game. I think this was a very this was not a very great Everton side that you play today. You won 2-0, but it was not a very great Arsenal performance, in my opinion. And I would say this: Arsenal's Arsenal's attack did not really create those kind of chances that looked like they were serious until Dowman came in. Now, I want to specifically call out people like Bukayo Saka in this game. I want to call out Arteta for playing Madueke, who has been the most informed player on the right. He played him on the left. I want to also call out Eberechi Eze. At the start of that game, it felt like, a couple of Arsenal fans have been calling for Martin Odegaard, even though he's injured. They feel like Eberechi Eze is only able to play when it's against Tottenham, but at some point in this game, I guess when this formation switched a bit, Saka came into the middle, Madueke was asked to leave, Martinelli came in, and then Dowman, who is even more effective on that right wing, made things happen for Arsenal. Again, your depth came into play. What do you think about Bukayo Saka and Arteta's decision in today's game?
I think I'm probably just going to look at it from an overall tactical
I will remind you that you called out Saka in the last game, so just
no. I know I did. Many people were very surprised that he was going to start this game, but again, we have to be thankful to our depth, and we have to also see that we are still competing in we're still in 4 competitions. So when I saw the lineup at the start, I wondered whether Madueke or Saka was going to be on the right. So when the game started, it was Madueke on the left, Saka on the right. So Madueke being on the left, very, very ineffective. But one thing I want to mention is when you say it's not a great Everton side, you have to understand it's not about them not having the players. They have a fantastic structure. Everton, regardless of who is there, whether they have Grealish, whether they have Grealish or not, or they don't have any players. They didn't have Tarkowski, their captain. They didn't have Gerard Brightwaite, but their structure is very, very good. The stats said today that Everton have, in the last 12 games, they've lost 3, but they've lost 3 at home. They've not lost away from home in 2026. They have actually been doing very well. So when you come and you're playing Everton, if you think you're going to have a very fantastic attacking performance, forget about it. It's not going to happen. So if it comes down
let me put a caveat. They have terrible attack in Barry and Beto. That was what was wrong in their.
Yes, they do. They do. It doesn't help that. It doesn't help. It doesn't help that Grealish is also injured. Like at the beginning of the season, they had Grealish, Kenan Dewsbury Hall, and then Ndiaye. Very free players. Now he's just passed the ball to Ndiaye. And again, if you look at it, when you say they have a good performance, these guys had the best shots on target. Like we had like 18 shots. They had like 5 shots, but like 3 quality shots on target. So I think regardless of their team, they still did well. But for Saka today, I think just overall, like the entire attack struggled. Like it was not a case of maybe just Saka. Everybody struggled today. Like there was no. Saka will have the ball when he wants to dribble the left back. They defend deep. Gueye, Ndiaye, Mikolenko, they will just cover Saka. So there was no space. There was no space at all. But as the game was opening up, I was just like, where would that quality come from? And so Arteta was very brave to go in and bring Saka into the middle, because at that point, you could have honestly have removed Saka, brought him Madueke to the right, bring Madueke to the right, and then remove Saka, and then bring on Martinelli. But we had Dowman on the bench, and he's a special talent. So bringing in Saka into the middle looked like a magic stroke. Bring him to the middle, play Dowman on the right, and then somehow it worked. So look, honestly, today it wasn't a great attacking performance. Our best attacking performance today was when Dowman came on. The moment he came on, him and Gyökeres, the last, I don't know, maybe last 20 minutes, that's when we started to attack.
Okay, and let's just talk about the man of the moment, Max Dowman, youngest scorer in the Premier League history. That's massive. That's the boots that players like Wayne Rooney, I think James Milner in the past have won.
Yeah.
And I know that
Marcus
I think
Rashford
in one of the very first games, in one of the very first games he played this season, you called him out as a wonder kid. And for you, is this the beginning of something special for Arsenal's academy? Because it's been a long time since we see something coming out from Arsenal's academy. Could he actually play in this role in this title contending team?
Honestly speaking, I think he is going to play a massive role. If you guys have been watching Arsenal, like you guys over the last 2-3 weeks, everybody says boring Arsenal. The last 20 minutes did not feel boring because of him. It felt like we signed him recently, but this guy came in like he's brave, he's taking on players, he's actually beating defenders, something that our wingers have been struggling to do, and he's putting in the right crosses, even able to shoot properly. So I think this is very good for the academy. We've had players like Ethan Nwaneri and Mouse Lewis Kelly who recently, they've not really had a lot of game time. They had more game time last season. So in terms of the academy, obviously it's a success for them having Max Dowman. Hopefully he can go on to bigger and greater things, and hopefully even Master with Skelly, Tanwaneri, that can just I want to hope that even next season there's a bigger pipeline of stars from the academy, because that's what we want. We want to have these players come in, shine, and hopefully we don't have to spend big money buying other players in transfer markets.
I mean, that's nice. I'm happy that he scored that goal, and his overall impact in the Arsenal team is being felt. And we'll talk about that goal before we end this episode. But I'm going to put Ernie and Osas on the spot here. I know Max Dowman is 16-year-old, and we have some other 16-year-olds or maybe 17-year-olds in the Premier League doing well. Okay. Shea Lassie of Manchester United, Rio Ngumoha. That's how Ngumoha of Liverpool, and then Max Dowman of Arsenal. If three of them are in a bar and you need to kick out two, who are the two people you're going to kick out? And they all three play for England.
Yeah.
I'll go first. Rio and Dowman stays. I don't think you've watched Rio play. That ball is quick.
Legova.
That Legova. You are chopping it or
that
you are
Legova.
No. The guy is quick. So, I mean, Dowman, fantastic play. 16 years and 73 days, I think. I mean, pretty young. Again, I can't think what I was doing when I was 16.
right. Battling jump.
What you have to put in context, it's not just the technique, but it's the composure. You put a 16-year-old in front of what? 20K, 10K?
The mentality, right.
Yeah. So whoever that third person, I can't pronounce his name, should just
the guy, he got a red card in his last match now. That guy.
Yeah, he got a red card.
He got a red card.
I think I'm aligned with Ernie's choice. But for me, I'm just a bit wary about these players. For me, the true test of success, or the true judgment of success, is actually you being consistent over the coming years. So in the fullness of time, we'll get to know. We've had a lot of these flashes of brilliance. To Obinna's points, Macheda. We even had one receive evolving, but last season they sold us dreams, but we're here. So I think for me, a promising talent is what it is. Promising. It becomes a talent when it stays consistent. So kudos to all three of them. We'll keep rooting for them, but they have to be consistent, and as when Rooney did, be evergreen for 10, 15 years. So
But guys, why can't these teams start? Like, look at Yamal. Yamal is 17, right? He's not 17. Why can't you start these players?
You can't compare the academy of Barcelona to the academies of the
over Martinelli.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, I think Dowman is better. No, Dowman has to be better than Martinelli.
Obinna has a personal vendetta against Martinelli. Obinna, there's something. What did he do?
So
what did he do to you?
It might not just be a personal vendetta. Like when you look at the way like these guys are playing the ball, for me, I think that these players are like, especially the Shelassie and Dowman, they look like descendants of Mason Greenwood or Phil Foden. The way they play with their left.
Dreams.
So you can always, if they keep their head in the game, and wait for their time. Because what will happen is in England, the media blows it out of proportion.
That's the problem.
And then next season, he's demanding for more playtime, and then he decides to go to maybe Burnley, and then
ends up in the championship.
And then he ends up in the championship, and then it's no more. But very, very interesting take from you guys. Before we close, Obinna, there was a big call in that game. There was an Arsenal penalty, and in the Leverkusen game, you were very finicky. You said, "Oh, the penalty is not a penalty." it happened to us now, so I'm going to take it. But today, what do you make of that tackle?
Wait. Are you saying I said it was not a penalty against Leverkusen? Is that what you're saying? I said.
You said
very, very.
You said you take
it. You said you take it because
you take it
because
I said that.
Now, so.
Oh my God, I have to go and check what I said. But
please watch our previous episode.
Watch,
and then you see what Obinna has said.
but you guys saw it. That guy clearly, like that stamp on Havertz's left foot was clear that that should have been a penalty. But again, VAR came and said check complete. They moved on very quickly. This in the Champions League, that kind of thing, they will take their time, like relax. I don't know why this is rushing Premier League. It was very clear it was a penalty. Like, and then their tweet was there was minimal contact. So when you say minimal contact, what kind of contacts should you have on a player to force the player to fall down? You've stepped on him and then he can't continue running. He has to fall down. So look, it was a penalty, but VAR is VAR. It's England. There's nothing you can do about it.
And it's so shocking with what is happening in the Premier League and VAR. Like you had time to check this. I think they checked this for like 3 seconds and they quickly
exactly. It's almost like
I thought it was just my game. Even your game too, it was like they just check for 5 seconds, check complete. I'm like,
check complete. Even in the Chelsea's match, it was so
check complete.
Check complete.
Relax.
What's going on?
Look at different angles. It's not like one angle. Like if you look at that, if the ref had I sometimes wonder if the referee should actually just make that call and say, okay, it's a penalty first, so that they can actually check. But once they say that it's not a penalty, once they say nothing, VAR, I don't know. I don't get it.
All right. You have it, our viewers. Drop your thoughts in our comments. Let us know who your player of the match is. Let us know if
Max Dowman.
If we can give Arsenal the title today, or
champions in principle,
or
champions in practice. We're hoping small.
Or Man City can
do.
Or Man City can do a quick steal of the trophy on the final day. Again, we'll come back for the Champions League next week to see if Arsenal goes through to the quarterfinal.
And Chelsea and Liverpool,
and if Chelsea,
all those teams.
And if Chelsea goes through, I have to be optimistic for Chelsea. And if
I'm
Chelsea
optimistic. Like I'm actually in my preview for next.
Chelsea, they're doing it. They're doing the greatest comeback ever.
They'll do it.
Joe Pedro has a hat trick.
Delap
has a hat trick. James has a hat trick in that game.
Yes.
And we believe. We're Chelsea. We believe.
Stopping Keva.
In this instance, the hope does not kill. Hope.
There's no hope. Exactly. You don't know those things. It's an Arsenal man. You don't. Every Chelsea fan will say the same thing. You don't stress us.
All right, guys, and that's a wrap for today's episode on the Four Aside part. Thank you for joining and watching our video. And if you have enjoyed this conversation, remember to subscribe to the channel, like our video, follow us on all our social media platforms.
Put in your comments.
Four Aside Ports. And don't forget to drop your predictions, your comment. And until next time, keep enjoying the beautiful game. We'll see you on the next episode of the Four Aside Ports.